Hello, Sold viewers. Big Ronnie here with another Sold Stay at Home series episode. It is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020, year of our quarantine. We're going crazy at home. You're going crazy at home. Artists are going crazy at home. Our contributors are going crazy at home. And this is a check-in that we have with our contributors. So today we're going to be saying hello to two of our contributors, two of our favorites. We're going to be going over some of their recent work, some projects that they're working on, and see how they're doing during the pandemic. Just a reminder as we get started that this is a great time to show this your artists that you love and respect, that you love their work and want to keep them working. So please go check out their web stores, check out their online sites, buy something, buy a print, buy a sticker, get a commission going if you can afford it. We've been having some great chats with artists as part of this quarantine series, and their support and supporting them is critical right now because we really need some good art to come out of the other side of it. And speaking of support, if you'd like to support Sold Magazine, please go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Sold Magazine. So with that, I'm going to introduce our two guests today, two contributors. First, we have Joanna Pan. Say hi, Joanna.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Very great to see you today. I love the background, color blocking, one of your photos of Menace and Ressa, right?
Yes. Shout out to Menace and Ressa from 2018. This is their Empress mural in Brooklyn.
We love it. And we also have Gloria Zapata with us. Gloria, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? I'm well, thank you.
You two have the best artistic background so far for a contributor check-in. Our other contributors
thank you.
Up a little bit.
Thank you.
Now, Gloria, let's start with you. You, during the pandemic, you are not sitting on your hands. You're busy trying to plan something. Why don't you tell our viewers all about that?
Yeah, so, I have a show coming up, with Bronx Art Space. It's called Memorias en Artes. So it's a collaboration with about 20 artists. And basically, it's a show of artwork that the artist has collaborated with me, doing a remake of my photographs. So they're photos from Honduras, which I am from Honduras. And the storyline of it is basically things that I've captured in Honduras while I was visiting there.
Now, tell us a little bit more about the process of working with artists during this time. Was collaborating hard?
Yeah, collaborating is hard. It's not only about the timing, but at the same time, you're hoping that they are also interested in what you're putting together. And then, we have different styles. So it's like I have a certain story and then how they switch it. It's really beautiful when it comes to them recreating it and making it into their own storyline of painting or spray painting, however they make that happen. It's just great. Like, you put it together and it's just like, wow, you would never think that a photograph can actually be captured differently in a painting.
Now, how does that feel to you to turn your photos over that had such a very personal touch over to an artist that really wasn't there to share that experience with you?
That's a tough one. It took me a while to actually open up with these photographs due to the fact that it is personal to me from home. Especially when it comes from family members, because I know, especially at this time, that they're not in the best situation. So, I think now it's even more like, wow, like, I've captured these, but when I captured these 4 years ago is not the same as what is going on now. So yeah, it is pretty touching to me, and I just hope to basically represent them in the correct way by showing that, we do think of our people and our, how they are going through things in their country as well, or our country, should I say, but we can't go back home. So we can only think of them, in prayers.
Well, speaking of prayers, I've been to Honduras, and the only time I've had to pray when I went to Honduras was when I was flying into Tegucigalpa Airport.
Wow. Well, I am from Tegucigalpa, so.
Oh, Joanna, you got to come into Tegucigalpa Airport in Honduras above a mountain peak, and then you got to drop altitude so fast to get down to the runway before the other mountains on the other side. It is crazy, but it works.
but it works.
It works.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you have a 7-hour flight, and then, you know, traveling in there is another 7-hour travel to get to wherever town you have to get to. And just driving for 7 hours and you're not familiar with anything there, it's kind of scary. You know, it can be very scary, and especially if you don't know how to communicate.
You know, go ahead, Joanna.
Oh, I was wondering, has Honduras been hard hit by COVID? Do they have a lot of cases?
Yes, it's growing as the time goes, but at the same time, you know, the lockdown is very serious because you know, there's not enough freedom out there to go to the doctors. Doctors don't even the doctors are so afraid to even attend to anybody. So, and then, you know, stores are closed. There was already rules about stores. So now for it not to be available, it's hard to even get food, you know, for those that can't even travel to where everything is located, because it's mostly in the city. So it's like you have to travel there, but there's no way to get there when they shut down the roads.
Do you have family there, and are they okay?
I have a lot of family. I mean, I can't say they're okay, but, you know, we make the best of it and help them the best we can from here, you know, due to the fact that we cannot travel to Honduras at this time.
Mm.
Now, Joanna, let's switch over to you for a quick second. Now, I've joked with our contributors and our soldiers in the past that you're gonna get us, and we're gonna get you a Pulitzer. You are the best writer on the team. You go after the hardest hitting topics. You never shy away from asking a tough question. You know, you may as well be our Geraldo Rivera, as far as I'm concerned, because the way you get in there and you get so many people to talk to you. How do you do it? What gives you that edge, Joanna?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I hope I don't get hit in the face with a chair like Geraldo Rivera did.
I just threw him in just to keep it a little light. I didn't want to use in
But
Cooper.
I know. But I read a lot. I grew up reading the news. Well, these days, news is more online and it's more video. But I love to read the news. That's the way I digest it the best. And I don't know. I just when I get when I decide to write about something, I want to know everything about it, everything, and I try to get as many people involved as I can. And if they're willing to talk to me, I want to know everything, just everything. So I like it.
I must say, Joanna, it's fun when it comes to having a conversation.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean, you know, just you take the regular writing a lot deeper. The germs piece, the Shurio piece, the 5 points piece, and of course, most recently, the Asian suffering COVID discrimination.
Right.
Like
I did a write up on Gloria's the first part of her show at Woolworths.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, thanks. I love the show. Love the show.
Now, Joanna, what are you missing the most out there? Because you weren't just a photographer; you're also a very social person. You're very well respected by the artists. You know, what are you missing about your normal routine?
I'm missing the thing I loved the most was to go out on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon and just be wandering around and taking photos, which I can still do to some extent because I have a car and it's usually feasible to go to a wall and social distance and not run into a lot of people. But before COVID, I used to sometimes run into a whole group of people painting. And I usually recognized at least 3 or 4 of them, and they would say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I would get all these great process shots of the walls going up, and then I would meet new people, and we would all hang out, and I really missed that.
How about you, Gloria? What are some of the things that are getting in the way of your process, or how are you dealing with the lockdown now?
Well, not sure if a lot of people know, but I teach students, so I do miss teaching art. At the same time, I think it has been more time for me to create art. So I have definitely been creating art. And that time is that it's like, it's kind of like, I feel like you jinx yourself on certain things, you know, and I'm like, I wish I had more time to do art. And now it's just like, you have more than enough time to do art, you know, create. And it's just now, you know, taking the time to do it. And sometimes, you know, it takes me like 3 days to complete a canvas, or sometimes it's just the thought process that I'm just like, what am I going to do next? So missing teaching the students and basically going out there to take some pictures as well. I miss being around my artist friends and family, and just, you know, giving them that support as well, and, you know, creating. But I think now you're just creating in a different way, you know. You might have had, you know, a way of that you was used to doing it. Now you have to find another way to create.
Yeah, we're finding that, you know, the majority of the artists are leave me alone, stay at home creatures that they want to be isolated and able to create. But they're also a little bit of rebels, especially the graffiti guys. You don't tell them what to do. Just because you're
Right.
supposed to say, you know, just because they want to stay inside all day, now that you tell them they have to, they don't want to anymore.
Right.
And that's just the way that that goes. And I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon.
No, it's not. You know, so even if we have this time when things will open back up, you know, to be out there for the hours that we want to be and creating and capturing, I don't think now it's like you have to shorten up the time and be more mindful that anything can happen. Because now you think about, you have to go home, you have family, you know, you have other people to meet and stuff. So now it's like you're limited of so many things. Before it was like you can go to an event every day if you could, but now that's not the same, you know, things that we can do. So we have to adjust the best way that we can.
Where are you locked down, Gloria?
I'm in the Bronx, so, you know, being here, seeing the changes, and then, you know, you look in the news and you see, like, I have friends in other states that are different and stuff. I'm just like, well, you know, lucky you, but, you know, keep in mind that things can get worse before they get better.
Now, I'm a little sunburned, so I'm having trouble patting myself on the back. You guys are going to have to help me out a little bit. I can't reach it. Have you been listening to the podcasts? What do you think? Who was your favorite?
Podcast. Yeah, I don't know. You know, you say you had 5, right? So
No, we had about 30.
30.
Yeah, we've been
I
busy.
said she had like 5.
5 this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on week 5 already.
Honestly, y'all on a roll. I'm gonna tell you like that. You know, y'all on a roll, and it's hard to catch up with everybody. So I'm just like, honestly, I don't have a favorite. I go skipping, and social media for me, I'm gonna be honest, is not the place where I try to be all day.
Well,
Just doing this interview, it's a big thing for me, because I'm just like, okay, this is gonna go everywhere.
yep.
And you guys are like all for it, and I give you, like, I can lend you 100%, because I'm just like, wow, that's really cool. But at the same time, I'm just like, you know, this is what it is. And then to catch up to everything, you're like, when did I miss this? And you'll be like, oh, it was 2 months ago. So definitely,
That's okay. We forgive you, but watch this. Joanna, what's your favorite?
I'm sure
EG183.
EG183, without taking a breath. Yeah, that was a good set.
he had so much artwork, you know, and I'm just like, okay. And then you see the, you know, the other artists, and I'm just like, you know, this is amazing. I'm like, I don't know how they're doing it, but BG, you know, he's gonna dislike me for the like, but I know BG, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
I know BG. He's cool.
I know the one that I'm looking forward to really seeing is Eric Orr, because I heard his podcast was amazing and he said some really inspirational things.
I'd met him once or twice before at shows out in the scene, and always a big hello, big smile, how are you, yada yada. But I really liked how existential he got about it, and he got feelings about it, and he got moody about it, and I really think that was good for a lot of people to see. because, you know, it's one thing to be, you know, graffiti artists. Nobody's going to step up and say, oh, I'm sad, I'm not feeling good. No, these are all tough guys. You're born tough. You're not showing anybody any weakness. So I really appreciate when a man, you know, can show that level of sensitivity and still remain tough.
Right. I mean, you also had Ruben, so that was kind of fun.
Now, Ruben, but you're talking
about Ruben one time, so
yeah, with the Ruben chat, I always learn from him. His progress and his process. He held up that little can of paint. You remember see that the little paint tubes that he had? It's probably $10 worth of paint, and he's creating $500 little mini canvases with them. I love that guy. He is a machine, and I hope he never stops.
Mm.
Now, I mean, everybody does look quarantined.
Yeah. Now, what kind of food are you guys missing up in the Bronx? What do you wish you could go out and get right now?
I'll be honest, I'm not really the fast food person. I am Central American, so I do love my cultural food. I love. But when I go outside, honestly, and I go to the supermarket and I see like maybe it's hard for me to get some tortillas and some veggies because they're probably not the best looking veggies. It really bugs me out. You know, I don't know if we're gonna get like those fresh vegetables this summer like we usually do, especially when they had the veggie festivals out there. Yeah, so we're gonna have to be very cautious about those things, and that's pretty much what I miss. Or when I have to get milk, because I'm not for the dairy, so I just like really all the milk is gone, so I have to come back another day and check for everything else, or go check another supermarket. So I think that's really it. But other than that, probably some Spanish restaurants sometimes, but you know, what can you do? You have to cook at home for some of us.
How about you, Joanna? How is it holding down the fort? Because you have a co-lockdown mate with you, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we're planning I'm planning his birthday in 2 days. And I've got to tell you, it's hard to plan, you know, gift shop and surprise someone when they're in lockdown with you. The doorbell rings, and if there's a delivery, it's stay away from the door. Go in that room for 2 hours. So but in terms of food, we have Blue Apron, and that, you know, so I don't have to go out and shop for food, because usually the dishes I like to cook, you know, I can't get it at one store. I usually have to visit 3 stores to really make a meal that I'm going to be proud of. And Blue Apron is good in that all the ingredients are just in one box, and it's contactless delivery, and, you know, so we do that 2 or 3 times a week, and then the rest we eat peanut butter and Ritz crackers and packaged tortellini, but that's fine.
And there we have a Blue Apron ad, so viewers, and there you go. Blue Apron, if you want to advertise, please feel free to reach out. We will take
Yeah.
Love it. Advertise while you're interviewing. Hey.
What are you guys listening to at home? Let's start with Gloria.
I listen to a lot of I would say some R&B. I like to listen to R&B, alternative here and there, depending when I'm doing the art zone time. Sometimes I'll switch it up and go very back and listen to some Beethoven. I don't know. It's just a mixture of what's going on, but Caribbean music as well.
Joanna, what's that tubby kitty's name before you talk about the music? Your cat.
Oh, Ivy.
What do you and Ivy listen to at home?
Sorry, what?
What do you and Ivy listen to?
Me and Ivy. We listen to everything. Suzanne Vega, Tori Amos, but also lately Cab Calloway, because I saw, I had never seen the Blues Brothers movie before, and he appeared in the Blues Brothers movie, and I was like, this is crazy. I had to, who is this guy? And yeah, so I really like his music, but just, you know, whatever's on. Paul plays a lot of, you know, Paul's a music teacher. He conducts the chorus, he conducts the orchestra, and he's always listening to new, like, synthesizer-based music. So I I listen to a lot of the stuff he listens to too.
Nice.
Now, Joanna, let's talk about coming out of lockdown, getting back to normal. You guys know the scene as well as I, and all the small galleries and backyards that we cram into to see some work around the Lower East Side and around New York. What do you think the scene can do to help this situation when we come back out of it, to make sure it never happens again? Anything?
You mean, like, is there a way that we can work together for this not to happen again? That's what you're saying?
Correct. Or, I'm sure when everybody comes out of this, we're still going to be wearing masks and social distancing and not touching common surfaces and things like that. And I think that's going to be a little tough for the gallery scene.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we have a bigger population that doesn't want to kind of work through this, then, if that makes any sense, then the population that is trying to stay home and keep safe and stuff, I think we're going to have to continue that. But because there's so many people that's like looking forward to like the summer and everything that the summer, represented and stuff, and knowing that all that is not going to be a part of it, it's like, it's getting more chaotic, so
Let's jump in there, because what we didn't touch on earlier that I remember from reviewing with Eric is that your project that you're working on now, this show is intended to be a virtual show. There will be no physical installation.
Right. So it's going to be a virtual show, and it's definitely, like I said, a good amount of artists, and everyone has a painting, the images, and it'll be shown on Bronx Art Space. And then we will also have more interviews on Bronx Art Space IG, and also videos of artists that we have interviewed as well.
So it sounds like you're actually taking the first steps to help the art scene be a little more COVID protected, to me.
Right, exactly. So I'm just trying to, one is be alert that these artists are still out there, support, right? Mm-hmm. And keep creating, don't be discouraged, you know what I mean? Try to just keep positive thoughts about it. We have to move forward one way or another. But I mean, I feel in the art field, change is part of it.
Yes.
And there's always something, when you're creating new art, it's always changing. We never create the same type of art piece, so right about now, I think this is a time that people, are looking through art, and getting a message out there is something to take the opportunity and share with other people.
How about you, Joanna? What do you think, the scene might do to adjust to help the COVID spread?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think technology is definitely a big help. And this period of lockdown has really spurred a lot of creativity. Like people doing live chats on Instagram or on YouTube. And, so I've seen a lot of COVID-inspired art. Like, let me see, I saw a Pinky and the Brain character. I saw a Mark Bode character that were both COVID-based just in the past 2 weeks. So it's tricky. The thing with testing, I was just thinking about, is that even with very diligent and rigorous and a lot of tests, with this disease, even if you test negative and the test is reliable, which we know they're not right now, but even if somebody tests negative, that doesn't mean they can't half an hour later expose themselves in some way and be positive. It's very different from when we had, like, say during the AIDS crisis, if you went and got tested and you were negative, you knew that as long as you abstained from risky behavior, that you were going to be negative until you did something that put you at risk. And this disease is so much more cruel and insidious in that, you can test and test and test and test, but that test is only good until the next time you touch a surface or the next time you go out. So it's very tricky. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just hope we all come out of this okay.
Well, I don't think we have to know. I think we just got to keep telling the stories and asking the questions. And nobody looks at social media like we're doctors or public health officials.
Right.
So as long as we keep doing what we're doing, just bringing the artist stories to our readers, our viewers, I think we're doing the right thing. And I really appreciate your time today, ladies. Our soldier check-ins are important to us. We want to make sure that our team members, as well as the artists that we cover, are doing okay during this time.
So one thing, Memoria Arte is from May 18th to June 6th.
Perfect.
Okay.
On Bronx Art Space. So just wanted to put that out there, you know,
Yeah.
progress of going up. I'm sorry, what you had? What you said, John?
Joanna, did you
Oh,
see?
I wanted to know, just quick, Gloria, are a lot of the artists from the first part of your series coming back for the second part?
Yes, a lot of them are. Just one, BG, Ada, there's a Lady J. Who else is there? There's a who?
JD? Is JD coming back?
Yes, JD's coming back. So they all have either the same artwork, or it'll be a second painting with their artwork from prior to the Wall Work show.
Nice.
Yeah. So probably like 10 of them that's coming. And then I have an extra 12 artists that's added to it.
Well, ladies, I'm going to let you go now. We're going to wrap up. But Joanna, let's start with you. Give everybody your Instagram handle.
Joanna, Beth, and then PDOT.
Gloria?
GZ Fotografias. GZ Photography in Spanish.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. We appreciate the check-in. Good to see you guys are doing well. And Joanna, I'm waiting for that next piece of Pulitzer-worthy journalism from you. We can't wait to read it.
A lot of art. Yes, a lot of art to show.
Keep creating, ladies. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.